Hey, what's up, YouTube? What's going on, man? It's your boy, Trucker Richie Rich. We're going to talk about some dollars here, and I hope I make some sense what I'm about to say. I'm sitting here looking at some videos and going over some things, just trying to unwind for a couple of days while I'm here at home. Um, Mega carriers have safety, they do. This video is going to be entitled Mega Carriers Have Safety, and I'm going to say why. I've been out here trucking, man, like I said, 10 years. I've been everywhere and always kept my ear to the ground, to the road, so I can hear what's going on. And lately, I heard another trucking company closed down, and actually one I was about to go work for back in the day. See, I hold a tanker endorsement, and I like driving tanker. And this company called Dillon Transport, they're around here. And I almost went to go work for them, but something told me not to. They just closed their doors. They laid off around 340 drivers, and they were last to know. You know, can you imagine being on the road, 2,000 miles away from home, and your fuel card is shut off, and nobody's answering the phone at dispatch, and you're stranded. In my career, right, this done happened about 6 times that I know of. One of the biggest flops in the industry was Celadon. And you know what? I almost went to work for them too. Celadon had those Lone Star Internationals, and I wanted to drive one of those things so bad. If you look at that truck, it looks like it's just an aggressive transformer truck, man. And they had a situation, I think they had a low board too. And I was going to go work for these guys. I was talking to the recruiter. She was like, man, look, if you want to get a load from Anchorage, Alaska to Florida, we got them. If you want to get a load from Canada to San Diego, we got them. And I almost pulled the trigger. I was about to do a lease purchase with them and everything. I mean, I literally filled the application out. And something inside me told me, don't touch it. Don't do it. I started thinking like, man, don't do it. Because I kept hearing all the horror stories about guys pay over there, and going underneath, their leases. So, I said, I'm going to hold caution. I'm going to wait. And I went back to work for Stevens or whatever. But next thing I know, they made major news too. And they were a big company. I would say Celadon was quite huge. I think they might have had something, maybe 5,000, 6,000 drivers, but they all shut their fuel cards off and they all closed the business in like one day. People didn't get paid. People were left stranded. I remember I pulled into a truck stop and I see guys selling tires off a Celadon truck. It was brutal. They were stranded. Matter of fact, I think Prime even had a situation where they were like, listen, if you pick up a Celadon driver, you're authorized to give them a ride and give them a recruitment card to help them people get home. It was so bad, you know. Then there was Aero Trucking and Diamond Trucking. I mean, there's so many trucking companies that were underneath. Man, that's like the biggest fear I have in trucking, you know, is that you hope that upper management is managing the business correctly. But I'm going to tell you something. That's why I work for Prime. That's why. There's safety in Prime. Yeah, Prime is a mega carrier, and they know what they're doing. And there's safe and assurance that if you call for help, somebody will come. That's the biggest thing that can scare you. You guys don't understand. There's some parts of the country where the population is like 20 people. And if something goes wrong out there in the middle of the country, you want somebody to come help you, or you don't want to be left stranded. I always tell guys, keep a major credit card open, at least $1,000 on it, you know, or if you don't, get a secure credit card and at least put $1,000 on that. Okay. Always keep access to money. Now, me personally, I'm a little bougie. Okay. I don't like doing Greyhound. I looked up the prices from Greyhound. I can get a Greyhound ticket from Washington State to the South for a couple $100. But, me, I rather fly. Okay. But always keep some money so you can get home. I've been in situations out on the road, right, where I've seen truckers at truck stops who were abandoned. Either that their company had closed, or they were fired and they were left out there. There's some companies that will fire you and leave you out there on the road and tell you do not drive their truck. Don't move it an inch. I can give you one example. Okay. Martin Transport. Okay. I used to work for them for a little bit, but they had a driver who got into an argument with somebody in dispatch over a load or something silly. And they fired the guy and they told the guy, find the next truck stop and go ahead and pull in there. The guy was like, no, I'm going back to the terminal. The terminal, I think the nearest terminal was somewhere in Virginia. And I think the guy was somewhere in Illinois or going through Kentucky. Anyway, the Kentucky state troopers pulled him over, arrested him, and charged him with a crime. And insane. Insane. You know, it's that's the scary thing about trucking out here on the road. You got to put your faith, especially if you're not an owner operator or a true owner, even if you're a true owner operator. You want to call somebody, you want to know they're coming, right? But Dillon Transport, I feel bad for those guys because I was very close to working for them because I think they have a terminal like not too far from my house or something because I see a lot of their trucks around my area. But something just told me. I looked at their equipment; it did seem kind of old. And now that I read the reports, I heard that was one of the main issues they had at their company, is that they didn't really upgrade their equipment. Good thing about Prime, they have a policy where their trucks are no more than 3 years old, unless you're buying the truck and it's grandfathered in. All their trucks are like 3 years old, but Dillon Transport, I think they had some old trucks, man. I looked at them things; they were old. So, but that's a lot of guys would be like, well, I want to get my CDL, work at a mega carrier for a little while, then work for a mom and pop. It's a hit or miss with those. Honestly, God, it is. It's a hit or miss with those. You can go work for a small fleet and hopefully the guy runs his business correct, so that you don't have issues with paychecks or maintenance or call for help. You don't have any of those issues. If you work at a small carrier and those three issues are really covered, then you're good to go there, I guess, but it always made me nervous, really, to work for small carriers. And trust me, I get approached on a daily basis to work for some mom and pop. And it's tempting. I think one guy offered me, he was like, look, I can guarantee you this amount of money per week. My trucks are not governed, you can go anywhere you want, fuel card, whatever. And it looked good. I was just like, no, I can't. I just couldn't, man. I need consistency and safety, and I need to be consistently paid. And I need to know that I'm operating safe equipment. Okay. And I need to know that you're coming when I call. Okay. So just keep that in mind, gentlemen and ladies. My advice to truckers, and if you're getting into this game new, make sure you keep $1,000 somewhere tucked that you don't touch. And $1,000 is for you to get your butt from wherever you're at home. I never forget it. I was up in, where was I up at? I think Iowa, and there was a whole ton of selling-on drivers up there just stuck. Sitting in the parking lot out of fuel, out of money. And see, one thing I tell guys, right? And I want you guys to listen to this. Never put your money on the fuel card as a direct deposit. Okay? Never, 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 never do that. You take the time to go find your bank account and set up direct deposit. So when your company pays on Friday, I don't care if it takes till Monday to get your check, it's going to a bank account that is not controlled by the carrier. Okay? I have to tell you guys that because there's been situations where, guys have that fuel card shut off and the ATM part of the fuel card was shut off too. You don't want that. It's the main reason why I don't really do e-funds, emergency funds. I don't know. I don't. Very skeptical of those. You know what I mean? Because I've heard stories and I've seen it actually where something happens with the company. You get into an argument with the wrong guy and he shuts your fuel card off and your ATM card. He shuts it off. And you're stuck out here in the middle of Jablip with no money. Oh, here's a story. I got tons of them, like I told you. I was in Houston, Texas on I-10. at the Flying J down there outside of Houston. And this guy, 6'3", big bear of a man, came up to me crying. And at first I thought he was on drugs or something, because the truck stops around Houston are a little sketchy. Anyway, he's crying because he's telling me that his company shut off his fuel card and his money was on his fuel card. Okay? He couldn't get access to his emergency fund. He couldn't get access to his bank account. Okay? He lived in California. And the owner of the company wouldn't answer the phone. They were mad at him for something. I think he got into an argument with them about a load. I don't know. But he was asking to use my phone and he was asking for $20. I gave it to him because I believed him. His truck was right there out of fuel. I mean, he wasn't lying. And that just taught me then. And that was my rookie year when that happened. I said, you know what? I'll never allow a company control my assets. Okay? I'll do that myself. Okay? Because I don't want to have a situation. I mean, there's stories, even at Prime, and I hate to throw them under the bus. I think there was a guy called Crazy Bags. He did something that he shouldn't have done, and Prime canceled his contract, and they snatched his e-fund money first, and they snatched whatever else, and they cut him a check 45 days later. Okay? Listen, control your assets in case of emergency. Cover, CYA. Cover thy own ass. Okay? That's the only advice I can give you guys. I mean, I know guys pump that emergency fund thing and say, you can get my access to it any time. Could I get access to it if I get in trouble and you guys fire me? No, they don't tell you that. Okay. So take OG wisdom from Mr. Richie Rich. Okay. Because you need to control all your funds. You need to be responsible enough to control your money. Okay. If not, you shouldn't be in this business. Okay. But, I take comfort in working for Prime because it's a great company. They've always paid me on time. Any issues I ever had with payroll, which were none. I had maybe one issue where I had to get them to advance my money. And I called into the payroll department. They're like, oh, we forgot to put a triple on your pay. I said, well, can you push it through immediately? She's like, look, it will be there for you today, Mr. Bell. I mean, top of the line service. Top of the line service. So, Prime always made sure I got paid and made sure I got paid correctly. I never had an issue with Prime. Knock on wood. Okay. So anyway, guys, this is my little advice today, man. Take safety and mega carriers because sometimes they do take care of you. I mean, the insurances are cheaper sometimes. I'm talking about vehicle insurance, not necessarily health insurance, but sometimes health insurance is cheaper too. The equipment is good maintained and you always get paid on time, and we need help, they come and get you. So other than that, guys, I'm sitting here reading the news and I feel sorry for those guys. I mean, this happens every day. Okay. These companies go out of business because the owner got greedy or did something shiesty. Prime so far has been solid. So y'all take it easy. Subscribe, like, and apply to Prime if you want to come over. It's safety. Peace.